Are you rolling?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I knew it sometime it would end up on the tree.
Okay. Let's see. Alright, I will start. Once upon a time, an arrow flew out of nowhere and landed on a stage.
Mommy.
Unfortunately, at the same time, there was a play happening, and all the audience and all the actors stopped what they were doing and looked shocked.
Mommy.
And they wanted to know where the arrow came from.
Can I have a turn?
Mhm.
Then there was a magnet that sucked it up, and they had thought it came from the magnet.
Is it my turn? Okay. And again, all the actors and all the audience were very confused. Where did this magnet come from? Where did the arrow come from? Was it part of the show? So they got their...
Yes, it was on the show conductor, and a circus tent. And it did, and it was part of the show. It was part of this. It was my act. And then I set it up so it wouldn't frighten you all. And goodbye now, everybody. Mom, why do you have that out?
That was the one that got rolled. So then,
Put it back.
one of the audience members, who was still not sure if it was part of the show, even though you say it was part of the show, I pulled that out so I know which one I'm using, decided he was going to solve the mystery. And you know what his name was? No? His name was... I've forgotten.
That's his name?
Forgotten.
Oh.
The I stands for Ichabod.
Oh.
Ichabod Forgotten. But everybody calls him I because it sounds funny. I've forgotten. Who's solving the mystery? I've forgotten. Right? Well, anyway, he was a very famous detective in those parts. And he decided that if anybody could solve the mystery of whether or not the arrow was supposed to be part of the show and the magnet was supposed to be part of the play and all this circus tent business, it would be him.
Mom, I am really the conductor. Okay, Mr. I forgotten. Okay. Well then, was it really your act? Yes, it was. Okay. He believes the conductor now.
I see.
But,
Well, when the show was over, Mr. I've Forgotten stepped outside and was blinded by the sunlight because that's what happens when you step out of a theater. The sun is so bright it hurts your eyes. And he heard a boom, and he looked around, but he couldn't see anything because, his eyes were still adjusting. And he heard the buzzing get louder, and then he felt a tickle on his nose, and he was just about to swat it when suddenly his eyes had completed adjusting to the light, and I've Forgotten noticed that the object which was on his nose was actually a bee. Your turn.
Mommy, I'm fighting a bad guy. But right now I'm running. Bee! come to me, I'm your tree. Bee, bee, come to me, I'm your tree. Bye-bye.
Yay.
They're all really mine, you know.
And then just as the bee found the tree, and I've forgotten, found his vision, and his eyes had adjusted, then there was a great solar eclipse. Do you know what that means?
I mean,
It means the light of the sun is blocked out by a shadow.
the moon shadow.
And yes, and Mr. I've Forgotten couldn't see anymore because it was so dark outside. And so do you know what he did? He got his flashlight, and he got into his car, and he drove away. Your turn.
That's not a flashlight.
That is a flashlight.
It's a microphone.
Well, I see a flashlight.
It's a flashlight microphone.
Ooh, and what does he do with it when it's a microphone?
He beeps out of it.
Why don't you finish the story? He found his flashlight microphone, he got into his car, and he drove away.
The end.